Good morning, everyone. Michael Mechanical here. And thumbnail is exactly the state of the car. No clickbait. So, before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. First of all, I am making a couple of videos. I was expecting it to be a huge, massive job that would take a little bit of time to do. It cost a lot of money. I'm going to see a disassembly, and I'm going to get the parts, a reassembly in January. Fortunately, we're not going to go that far. But unfortunately, I'm pretty much almost broke, which really sucks. And I'm trying not to touch one of my accounts because it's saving, and every month it gets a little bit of revenue, or interest, sorry. I call it revenue, it's not revenue. And so we went investigating, me and my dad, because he decided he was going to come out and have a look. We went and had a look at some stuff before I was able to make a decent video. And while I was live streaming, I stopped. I've hidden that video because it doesn't feel like it lines up to what this little video series thingy I'm going to make is going to be about. The first video I made was about doing suspension, rebuilding suspension. Now it's gone from rebuilding the suspension to rebuilding the brake calipers and, putting wheels back on the car, sort of thing. I feel like stuff that you make as a video needs to line up. So, that being said, this here is the brakes out of my vehicle. I'm actually going to rotate the camera around and make it a bit easier. So, reason we have to rebuild the calipers is, you can see this wear line here, this line here. It's on those two pieces, but these two these two brake pads don't have that line. It's actually like the halfway waypoint marker to say, hey, this is half worn out. It's not even half worn out, those brakes. Here's how bad these ones are worn compared to those meaty buggers. Except one or two of them is slightly slanted the way it's worn out. One of the big fat ones. I can't actually figure out which one it is. But to figure out whether it's right or wrong, because this is the only stuff they have on the shelf, even though I want the Bendix ones, they were $100 a set, because this was the only thing I could get on the shelf on the day, I decided I'm just going to get these for now. I'm going to pull these out of the packet. And this is what they look like. Brand new. Now, because they always build these things like 10 millimeters of, 10 millimeters of stuff. I'm going to try to get comfortable when I do this. So if I put this one side by side to that, it's very hard to do. Very, very hard. I'll tell you what, that works a bit better. There. It's about half worn. Actually, no. That's at the point, that little one is at the point where you extra brakes. They're worn out. Those ones aren't. That one's 75-ish% worn out, and that one there is about, there was about 60 maybe. So 60, 70, and that's at the point where it's like, you need to replace your brakes. So, doing it. So, what I know, my brakes have done about 35,000 kilometers. So that's not bad for 35, but it's actually very bad for 35. This should have evenly worn out. Someone should have evenly worn out to that one. Uneven. Now, when they actually wear on an angle, there's a couple of reasons for that. That's one of the reasons why we're touching the brake calipers. So, thumbnail moment coming up. There's your thumbnail right there. And also there's the camera there because I was making videos and I got a couple too many videos. I'm going to try my best to make a decent video. Criticism will come up from people when I've made it, I hope, to tell me what I should do, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. And here's the calipers painted. I don't know how actually good they are painted, because I painted them again because I saw spots which were dirty. These were one of these calipers actually came from a wrecking yard. LH. Oh, look, I missed a spot in there, but you're never gonna see inside there. So what does it matter? Not really. I think that actually looks pretty damn good. And when that's on the car, it's gonna look really nice, I reckon. And there's this one. Now this was the part which I found out that I kept making mistakes with. If I have to repaint that one there, because I only did that one pass, this is a 2-pass one. I gave up because it's like painting and breathing it in. This is actually pretty good. I'm going to have to clean out the bores a little bit, not much, to make sure there's no contamination of the brake fluids, if I can. Okay, well, I don't see any imperfections with this front surface, yes. No. I think that's actually pretty good. I'm going to leave that alone. That set's good. And nuggets. This is what I like to do. With painted stuff, I don't actually like to put it on that sort of surface. I've got a few options. And by the way, Mum and my brother have been cleaning up. That's all my stuff that's pretty much left. Not all of it's my stuff, fortunately, but most of it is. I'm getting so sick of junk on top of stuff you want to use. I want bubble wrap. So, shit of wrap. Lots of rat poop. Rims. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the caliper and I'll unfold this once. There's actually 2 of these bubble wraps out actually. Unfold it once. I like to work on a surface which is clean. It's not going to scratch up your paint. It's going to get scratched up anyway when it hits the road, but they're new calipers. Come on, man. They're like new. So, oops. Sorry, guys. I lost my head for a minute. But believe it or not, all I did was got up, had a coffee, came outside, and made a video. So, if I'm clumsy, it's probably because I'm tired and I don't realize how clumsy I'm actually. Oh, no, don't scratch the paint. Put this up like that. Because this is the one we're likely going to have paint issues with. So, let's see if there's any imperfections here. Believe it or not, that's an imperfection on both calipers, that little hole there. I think that's dumb manufacturing. Mitsubishi's because of this symbol, I believe. I could be wrong. But I don't know. I feel like sneezing. I'm sorry, guys. That's because I've been cleaning. Oh, look. That looks like an imperfect surface. I mean, it kind of does. To me, doesn't look completely painted. There are runs. That's a run there. But I'm not going to panic about it. It's extra paint. I can't see any imperfections on this one. Not really. Now onto the back. Let's check this one. I kept getting imperfections in these gaps here. And I missed a spot over here on one of them. I think that's why I tried to cover it off this time around. Yeah. I think I did these pretty well. I did try to clean them as good as I could. I had a cleaning station ready to do stuff. Believe it or not, this paint here might come off. This paint, this paint, this paint, and this paint. Because I'm going to try to sand it back where it should be just steel or something. That's had a surface grinder in it. These nipples are going to be cleaned off, and I'm going to pull them out actually and clean them up properly. Then I'm going to put the nipples back in because actually I should get new nipples. Look at this one. This one's got a huge freaking hole on it. And look at this one. It's got only a small freaking hole on it. What the hell's going on there? That doesn't make sense. But it might do a little bit. 2212. 2212. What do these numbers mean? 5912. 9YU. Okay, there's a couple things that might not line up. 80, 57, 22, 2. AD 57, 22, 32. 32. Okay. There's a couple numbers that don't line up. So they're probably different model brakes coming off of different cars. One might be older than the other. So one might be old, One might be new, because it's a big bastard right there. You could put it in that one. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. I'm actually going to do that to show you guys in case you can't see what I mean. Caliper side to side. Look how big that one is, and look how small this one is. I reckon they're like different models. Those numbers don't line up. Anyway, that goes to one side. That's ready to go. That one goes to one side. It's ready to go. This stuff here is not ready to go yet. Nor is the stuff in that bucket. So, I'm going to have to go through a process of cleaning all the bits and pieces. And making sure they're all good to go. If the pistons are bad, I have to replace the pistons. Then I'm at the budget where I could have already bought brand new calipers, but then I would have had to wait for them. It's Christmas, mate. And why do I want to wait for parts when I can fix the parts? So, since we're live streaming, the things apart, brakes are off, it's not dripping oil anymore. But we had problems where this brake rotor was actually loose, and we found that the wheel bearing was loose. And because I tightened that up so many times and tried to balance it off, that one particularly was giving me crap. My dad tightened it up and said, this is good now. And then this one here, on this side, we've been mucking around tightening up these things, because Dad said to me, that's meant to be tight. This has absolutely no wash underneath it, and look where it sits. Miles out, and it doesn't, it's not good. The difference between that side and this side, though, that we found out, hopefully it's not leaking brake fluid still, because it's still wet. This one has a bracket and the other side doesn't. Now, I'm actually a little bit concerned now looking at that I should check the reservoir is not out of fluid, because if it is, then I'm in trouble with refilling the damn thing and bleeding the system. I just want to bleed the front, and that's it. Nope, she's half full. Good. When you have something in there at least, it's a good sign that you're not got a huge ton of air in the system. I mean, to the back lines. And we got plenty of brake fluid. I mean, 1 empty bottle, 2, 3, 2. And there's even more around here. So there's another 2 somewhere, but I don't know where they are. And that means that they don't exist. Oh, look. 1. Just in dirty. There's the other piece of bubble wrap. Look how much dirt came off when I was doing the Y wheel on it. Jesus. And that's all from oil, that splashiness. That's from the brake oil. What else is there? Not really much else to show other than small clean spot. $70 kits. 2 of them. The rubber grease. The greaser. Paint. And I have a brand, if it's the full container or not, I have no idea. No, empty. There's another one of them. Oh, cleaning station, right. So this here is where I was seated at. And I had some tissues and was just wiping them, getting them clean as possible. Then I painted them. So that's why the paint looks pretty good. I couldn't get the surfaces A1 perfect because it's impossible without a caustic bath, but I got it close. And then here is where I was rinsing and washing, using an acid to sort of get off rust as much as I could. And this I used to wash off the rust, but also to get off the grease. So I did both jobs in one. So after I've done that, a few more jobs I've got to do. I've got these steering suspension rubbers, and this is going to this side, because that rubber there is on that one. That tie rod stuffed. I don't have to adjust the tie rod, just have to pop it off. And when I pop that one off, I'm also, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm going to pop off that, and I'm going to put this one on the steering box. And I have new parts. All I need is 2 more inner tie rods and I'm okay. So, I'm also going to give you some extra good news. If anyone finds my ads on Gumtree, I've got a mower Catch 20. It's no good at the moment. I need to put new blades on it. It cut one lawn really, really well. Then near the end, it stopped cutting so well, and it started making a mess. It's like, why is it making a mess? The blades are loose. One of them's rusted out, and the other one is just loose. Then I have a whippersnipper. Same day I did that job, did some whippersnipping. The wire ran out, and so I couldn't finish the job properly. And I said, well, I've done the best I could, and he said he's happy with it, and he gave me a bit extra. And I pretty much said it's not perfect. I apologize. The things I learned about. I now need to invest in a rake. Even though these are rakes, this is my parents' stuff. I'm not taking their rakes. I need one of these rakes. And that's to rake up the lawn once you've cut it. So you rake it up and clean it up in one corner. I quoted him 30 minutes. It took me 43 minutes, and that's probably because I mucked around with that head trying to put the wire back in, and it fell out. And it wasn't working out successfully. And 13 minutes because this thing was making a mess, and I was picking up the lawn and, emptying this, checking it every freaking cut to figure out what's going on. Why isn't this doing its job right? And I had to take it slower because this thing was choking itself because it's not flicking the lawn. And here, it was actually just holding it all around the base, and it was struggling to run. And almost killed it. So, yep, that happened. But this thing is good. It ran fine. I just need to put new blades on it, and it should do good. The only thing I need is new locking lever things, because these things come loose when you're running it. Because it's old, but it's still got some life left in it. $35 for that and that. And if you think about it, this here on its own without some of the extra attachments was probably about 220. So it's 10% almost, a bit more than 10% of its value I got back from it. So if I said $44, which is a few bucks less, that's 20% of its value I've already got back on my whippersnipper, but I haven't. Is it 40%? No. No, you're a goose. Is it? No, it's about 20%. So I forgot 20% back. Another 4 lawns, and it's paid for itself. All those extra equipment that I bought. And it doesn't pay for fuel. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Doing this, setting it up, and using it to film what I'm doing here is actually pretty tricky. And to keep it moving. I'm not even sure if a couple of my videos, I even caught all this cleaning stuff. I might have been standing in front of the camera the whole time and I didn't even realize it. It wasn't consciously on my mind. What my mind was on is focusing on getting these things done rather than filming. It's not 100% good or bad. Anyway, does this still spin? Yes. I'm glad that still spins. I'm gonna leave this video here. I'm gonna have to get back to work and get those calipers back together again. Dealing with all the mess. Once this is all done, hopefully I'll be able to figure out Monday. Am I gonna do the rear end? The drums need to be replaced. Maybe the brake pads. I'm not sure. My dad's saying stay away from the brake pads at the rear, the drum brakes. Just reuse the pads, he said. And it's like, I don't even know how bad those are worn out. Last I checked, they were good, but they could be really bad just like the front is now. So I was thinking, if I change the brake drums, I'm changing the pads. He doesn't agree with that. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. Michael Mechanical is tired and I'm going to get back to work and out. See you later.